guys, welcome to today's little lesson about progressions. Actually, we're going to look at different chord progressions and when to use them. So this could be maybe you're writing a song, or you might be playing with friends or in a band or at church or wherever you are. Whatever it is, you can take this knowledge with you. So it's not a secret, maybe it is, but I'm going to teach you a little something, a trick that pretty much all pop songs, everything here on the radio, every song you've probably ever heard, unless you've listened to something like, blues or jazz or soul or funk or something like that, is every song is pretty much the same. It's pretty much 4 chords. They only use 4 chords in all their song, and they just change the way that they order them. That's what we call a progression, whatever the order the chords are in. So there's 4 chords are, and if we're playing an E today, I'm always playing in G, so let's play an E today. You have the 1, which is E, and if I count up, I've got the 5, which is B, and then the 6, which is a minor chord, C sharp minor, and then I've got the 4 chord, which is A. So you can pretty much think any song, just a small town girl living in a lonely world. You took the midnight train going anywhere. Okay, so I had a little bit of a change there. I had a 1/3. But as you can see, it's just 1, 5, 6, 4. I mean, we're talking, and look, I'm going to show my age here, but like when I was little, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Beyonce, Destiny's Child, John Mayer, like all those pop songs. John Mayer was a little bit different, but those pop songs, they're just the 1, 5, 6, 4. That's how they roll. Or, pretty much, 1, 5, 6, 4. Or 1, 4, 6, 4. So, it doesn't even have. It's only got 3 chords in that song, right? And there's a lot of pop songs like that. Like I said, any song that you'll hear on the radio is pretty much those 4. But the goal of today isn't just to teach you that little tidbit. It's actually to show you some different ways to, different progressions and how they affect the listener and what we're doing. So here's the biggest thing you need to realize. The 1 chord, so what a key you're in, the very first chord of that scale. So I'm in E, so E. The 1 is always finished, completed. You're always going to feel like you are done. If you're hearing this chord, you're going to be like, it's over, right? So if I was to play this progression, and I may have emphasized the last chord, but that's the 1. You feel done. It's resolved, right? There's nothing hanging there. It's like not like there could be something else. Now check this out. That's the 1 chord. That is also the fact for the 6 chord, so the minor. So we'll do the same thing, and I'll just end it on the 6 this time. So when I'm doing this, just consider how you feel. Okay, it's all about feeling this thing. It's not a scientific, mathematical. I mean, there probably is reasons for it, but it's a feeling that I want you to catch the most, okay? So let's do that again. I'm going to finish on the 6 this time. So that's resolved too. Sometimes, look, I may have led into that made you feel like, oh yeah, it's kind of resolved. So you could say it's semi-resolved. It's really resolved. However, you probably want to hear this. So if I'm hanging on this chord, you probably want to hear this. Ready? Now that's resolved. That's the 1. Okay. So 1 and 6. That is both ways that you can finish a song and not feeling the listener. Like we can play psychological games with them here, not making the listener feel like, oh, there's more, give me more, you stopped too early. That's why you can annoy a listener by how you do your progressions. You can annoy a listener. Like if you're playing behind someone, so I grew up in church, and when we were in the music team, if you're playing behind someone who's talking, we can really affect just psychologically and even emotionally, but mainly psychologically, that feeling of what people are listening to while the person speaks. They're not necessarily listening to what we're playing. It might be just, kind of subconsciously going past their ears and in and out. But if you're doing this and you're constantly giving people no resolution, you're going to leave them feeling like they don't know what they're feeling, but they're going to be like, there's something left, you're not just giving the, we've landed. So here's another one for you. I'll show you. A cool way to build tension or to build excitement or to build anticipation, just to build, right, is to ramp. And this is what I like to call, it's just a build, it's a walking progression. So we might, instead of going 1, 5, like pop song, 6, 4, such as E, B, C sharp minor, A, I might do a walking progression. So still 4 chords, but I'm going to start on a 1/3, which is the 1 chord, but the bass note is the 3rd of the scale. So the 3rd note of E is G sharp. So it's E over G sharp, right? So if you played an E like that, standard E everyone knows. If you put G sharp as your bass, that's a 1/3. That's a hard way to play it. So I like to play it like this, okay? 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the E, and I'm killing that A string with that finger. 2nd fret, my 1st finger on the 4th string, and then 4th fret on the G string, and then the bottom 2 are open, right? So let's do this. Let's do a walk, and we're going to create some anticipation here. Just again, note down how you feel, okay? It's going to sound good, but note down how you feel as well, right? So you can see, if I just loop it, it kind of like, I do film as well. Like I studied film as well, and I love films. And so if you can imagine a scene, maybe of someone running, trying to get to, let's think of a rom-com or a romantic drama, right? I'm a bit of a romance rom-com guy, right? It's the guy running to stop that marriage, or it's that guy running to tell the girl he loves her, or even switch it up. It's that moment that the girl is trying to race to save the day or something, I'm thinking Supergirl, She's trying to get there because it's a tension builder. See, can you feel this? You haven't had any rest yet. It's a constant build of anticipation. So psychologically, it doesn't matter what I'm saying. The music is moving you. You're feeling it, right? So I'm going to show you, this is what we want at the end of the day. You ready? Here we go. So finally we'll get what we want. And roll credits. Give the people a rest. Let them breathe. So that's the 1 chord. You see how the 1 chord settles and you can breathe again. But that is a great music technique in your progression playing of how to build attention. So maybe whoever's talking is trying to build excitement or is trying to lead people somewhere. You got to consider a walking progression like that is actually leading people. It's leading me to expect something. And it's funny that you can say that about music, but that is exactly how it feels, right? Now, here's another one too. If you want to give a soft completion, like semi-resolved, like a semi-resolution to your progression, you can finish on the 4 chord, right? And the 4 chord will always give like a breath. It will be like a floating. So if you hang on the 1, it feels like your anchor. You've knocked the peg into the ground. I'm here. I'm done. The flagpole is in. We've taken it. We've landed on the moon. Boom, we've arrived. A 4 chord is like a floaty. kind of feeling. And what it does is it just leaves something hanging, right? And I'll show you what I mean. We'll do another progression, but we'll make sure that the 4 chord is the one that we're hanging on at the end, okay? So often we do this, is you might play the whole progression, and at the end of your progression, you might land back on the 4. And that 4 lets everyone kind of dangle. So check this out. Again, let's feel this. Let's not just hear it, let's feel it, okay? So, key of E. So I'm going to make the progression simple. This is like another classic pop song progression 6, and then 4, and then 1, and then 5. Do it again, 6, na, 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 4, 1, 5. What song is that? It's in my head. Da, na, 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 na. Anyway, there's a lot of pop songs that are like that. Okay, I'm just going to play and not talk, okay? So let's see the feeling. Okay, let's semi-resolve this. You ready? We're going to float. So we're kind of floating right now. You know that feeling you've got right now? Now I'm going to land us. Ready? Here comes the anchor. Ready? Here it is. So floating, and here's the anchor. We've landed. I've put the gear into park. I've pulled up the handbrake. We've arrived. We're home. Let's get inside. So now can you understand the power of simple chord progressions and where you land. So you land on a 1 at the end, you land on a 4 at the end, you land on a 6, which is the minor chord at the end, you land even a 5. A 5 actually is neither resolved in any way. 5 desperately wants you to move. And maybe that's the last thing I'll show you today. The 5 chord. How the 5, if you finish on the 5, you don't feel done at all. It is screaming. Its function is to move you to something, whether it's up to the 6 or down to the 4 or to the 1. It is begging you, please finish. So let's do this. We'll go to the 5. Let's finish on the 5. Okay, let's think of a progression. We'll just go simple again. Maybe we'll do 4-1, 4-1-5. Real simple, all right? Oh, no, let's go 4-1-6-5. Let's try that. And I'm in 6-8 today for some reason. I think I'm just feeling it. So let's go 4-1-6-5. So we've got the progression. We know how it's making me feel. This progression makes me feel, however it makes you feel, makes me feel a certain way. It will make you feel a certain way. But the point is, we're going to look at how it resolves. Okay, so the next time round, I'm going to finish on the 5 and we'll see how you feel. Okay, here we go. 2 more bars. Ready? Here we go. How do you feel right now? It doesn't feel done at all. And not just not done, like we're floating, because you know the 4 chord was floating and we were kind of done, but we're not fully done. This chord feels like it's begging to go down. To that 4 chord, let me float. Or it might be begging. So if I do that again, we'll do really fast. What was it? 4, 1, and 5. Begging for the 1. Yeah, sure. Can be for the 1 too. This might not be the best example of going up to the 6, but it can also go to the 6. So if we do it again, 4, 1, 6. So the 6 does work. But you know what also I love to do is I love to land on the 4. So let's do that progression again. The 5 is going to beg me to move somewhere. I'm not going to move to a 4 or a 1 or a 6. I'm going to go from the 5 to a 1 over 3. And the 1 over 3 will beg, that's another chord that's not resolved, that will beg and ask, please go somewhere, and it's going to ask us to go to the 4. So check this out. 4, 1, 6, and the 5 wants me to go somewhere. If I go to the 1 over 3, that's asking me to go to the 4. Float. And then even, the 4 is even sometimes wanting the 1. Progressions, powerful things, aren't they? So I hope you've had fun learning today. I hope you can take some of that into your playing, whether it's playing behind people who are talking, playing in your band, playing a song you're writing, whatever. You understand there's a psychology, there's a feeling that comes from music. So when you play, it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm just playing. No. You're making people feel something. You're making them either relax or get uptight and stressed, right? Depending on what you do. So my suggestion to you is just start playing around with those progressions that we did today and start learning how each chord makes you feel, because then you'll find situations where you'll be with people and maybe they're stressed, maybe they're anxious, and you can play just music and they will feel better because you know what you're doing. So someone who's stressed and anxious might not want the building, constant march, right? They probably don't want that. They probably want something more just open and spacious. Maybe something more like 4, 1, 5, 1 over 3 to the 4, back to the 1, and we'll go to the 5. Keeping it simple. And then if you want, break it up into some picking. And we're going to use that 1 over 3 to pass us onto the 4 chord. So you can feel it's already like, wow, that's way less intense and way less like, oh, I've got to get somewhere. It's just peaceful. It's just, just easy breezy. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to keep bringing you videos. I'm going to keep trying to help you just put out valuable content to help you sound like you know what you're doing, and hopefully you fall more in love with playing this instrument and sharing the joy of guitar. Guys, as always, if you've got questions, feel free to DM me or put in the comments below, maybe things you want to see or questions you have about the video. No issues. I will reply, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.